The owner, Rich, when he started about 21 years ago, he started in a Barefoot bookstore, and his idea was that he wanted to do everything with recycled papers, recycled inks, and it was very difficult for Rich back then because in the late 80s and really up until about 5 years ago, recycled papers and soy-based inks were not common. And people told Rich he was crazy. They told him it would never work, that printing was a commodity. But Rich stuck with it, and he has never changed the course of what he's done. And so, 21 years later, Rich Kilby's still printing on recycled paper with soy-based inks in a green-friendly manner. The rest of the printing industry is kind of catching up to something that 21 years ago they told Rich he was crazy for doing. Things have evolved. I mean, it's not the same as it once was. I think people are generally accepting that we need to do something about the environment, and businesses have taken that role and taken that on. Making our printing process green, I don't think there's one thing. I think you can take the soy-based inks, which are ecologically friendly. You can take using recycled papers that are post-consumer content papers, and I think that's part of it. I think anybody can do that. I think what really makes us greener than other people is everything that we do, from the recycling of every possible thing that we can, to using things like plates, reuse, not just recycling but reusing. It's a whole reuse process. The conservation of water, the conservation of electricity, the things that we do around here with lights that are on motion sensors to save electricity, all the way down to the bamboo floors. There is a certain element to this whole business that is harsh chemicals, and inks are, as ecologically friendly as we can make it. The printing process itself is dirty, and there are chemicals involved. We use as mild as solvents, and we use things within the press that are, as the process goes, as ecologically friendly as it can be. Richard came up with this idea of making a completely recycled CD packaging where there was no plastic involved. It was, when people were ready to discard it, it could be recycled, it could be renewable. It's a double-edged sword. You see everybody doing them now. And so it kind of cuts into to your end of the business, but at the same time it's a little bit rewarding to see something that Richard had come up with 15 years ago, being used as really an industry standard. Now the inside step sheets, we could even use probably some sort of silk coated or matte coated recycled sheet. We've won for best of category, best small printer, all sorts of different categories for design, for print, for overall campaigns. We've won all sorts of those awards. Rich and Wayne were really the two originators of this. The first year that they did enter, and they just swept a whole bunch of awards. It was kind of a launching pad for many things. One, for the company, but two, for the concept. This notion of green printing will work. We're going to show you it's going to work, and we just proved to you it's going to work. In my opinion, it's worth spending more money on ecologically friendly printing, because in the end you're doing something good, you're doing something better, and I think in the grand scheme of things, the cost over time will far outweigh the immediate cost of not doing it. I don't think that we, this small printer located here in downtown Raleigh, are able to solve the world's problems by any means, but we're trying to lead by example, and if our business can do it, then the next size up business can do it, and then the next size up, and it can just keep going up from there.